welcome today to another episode of Alive Partner TV. And today we have a really, really powerful topic, and it's something that has been brewing inside of me for quite some time, with a deep awareness about something that is actually happening at a global scale. And the title of today's episode is the global pandemic that is actually affecting everybody, and it's unappreciation and how to survive it. In other words, unappreciation, the new global pandemic, and how we can survive that. And this is something that has become really evident to me, particularly in my community, as I have been serving men and women who are in the process of reconnecting in their relationship once again through the power of feeling. And you may be wondering, well, tell me, Mario, tell me more about this whole thing of unappreciation. Well, one of the things that has happened, and I have seen this across the world in my travels here in the United States, where I am talking to you from, is the fact that in developed nations, we have become extremely used to the idea of pretty much having access to pretty much everything that you can think of. And in the process of using your financial means to be able to have whatever is it that you want to have, there is this sense of, I can just purchase whatever experience, whatever material thing I want to have, and that's the end of it. But what I have become really aware of is the fact that there is an interface. There's something in between whatever is it that you're acquiring and whatever or whoever is it that is actually producing that thing that you're acquiring. And the common denominator to that experience, that is in between, that link to that experience, is the human element. And this is something that I have seen in a really powerful way, not only as we transact in the world and buy things and get things, but when it comes to relationships. And as if you're new to this conversation, I want to welcome you here to the Alive Partner community. I'm the founder, Dr. Mario. And one of the things that we do in our community is we serve our members to be able to rekindle, reconnect, develop, exponentialize their relationships, who they are, through activating your feeling body. If you don't know anything about me, I am a medical doctor. I'm a Harvard, Yale, and Columbia trained physician, and I have been in medicine for close to 30 years now, and done a lot of work when it pertains to the world of personal development, mind, body, medicine, and so on. And these are some of the things that I've actually been able to see in my own journey, particularly when it comes to relationships. You see, one of the things that I have discovered when it comes to successful men and women is that you may be crushing it in every single aspect of your life, but when it comes to relationships, there's a huge disconnect. And this is something that happens quite often when it comes to successful men who I talk to in my community, but also successful women or the counterparts, the partners of those successful men. And the aspect is, how do you actually can create that connection? How do you actually rekindle in moments where there is a lot of difficulty? How is it that you actually are able to connect in the moments where there is the most difficulty? And one of the things that is not intuitive, particularly to men, is the fact that no matter how successful you're being in other areas of your life, for whatever reason, that is not transferring to this domain of the relationships. And this is why in my journeys of really looking into what works, what doesn't work, having actually spent over $500,000 myself and with my wife in this journey of being able to create that sort of connection and discovering what are the things that don't work, one of the things has become really evident to me in that process, which I talk about in my community. And it's the aspect of being unappreciated. And I want you to, as you're listening to this, feel into that word, unappreciation. Because one of the things that I actually see quite a bit in relationships is men come to me and we're working, whether it's in the Alive Partner course or some of the mentorship programs that I have, Wanted Men mentorship program or the women-specific heart-to-heart mentorship program, is this sense of, I don't feel loved. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel cared for. I don't feel understood. If you're a woman listening to this, you may have this notion of like feeling in different planets, right? And for you to feel that you're in a different planet, whether you're a man or a woman, there has to be a sense of like, no matter what you do, it's just simply not working and it's not enough for you. And at the core of that, as I was talking about what happens in developed nations and having access to things, having able, the capacity to get whatever you want, we have become transactional beings, if you will, where just because I can have access to this or buy this, I deserve it and you have it to give it to me. But when it comes to relationships, this is actually not the case, right? We have to be gaining the trust of the other person. The interactions that we're having, they create that kind of connection that is essential for that trust to be developed. And if those things are not happening, you're not going to feel that, in fact, you're developing that connection that is so necessary. I would like to actually say welcome to all the people that are showing up, and I'm seeing some people here. Wherever you're tuning in from, please let me know where you're tuning in from, and I am so honored to actually have you here with me. As I'm talking about this, I would like to actually know what are your reactions to some of the things I'm saying, because I clearly see this all the time in my community, and perhaps you're new to this conversation, so I would love to actually see your comments. We read them all, and we do comment back. So welcome, and thanks for being here. I'm seeing Rocket here, and I'm also seeing Angimer 10, Racer Blocks. Thanks, guys, for being here. 200 IQ, thanks for being here. So this whole thing of the degree of unappreciation, it's actually a very powerful thing that erodes significantly and very powerfully the relationships in a very negative way. So you may be wondering, well, how do we actually snap out of that, right? How do we snap out of this sense of feeling unappreciated? And one of the things that happens is that, sorry to tell you, it's not going to come from the outside. So let's say that you're actually with somebody who is a spectacular human being as your mate, whether it's a wife or your husband, and they shower you with things that in his or her mind speak to the aspect of appreciation, but still for whatever reason that's actually not doing it for you. I want to say hi to Evercat, Claire, thank you for being here. So going back to this, no matter what the other person is doing for you, it's not going to do it. In fact, think about any moments where you've been with somebody else and you were feeling completely locked up in your emotions, things were just not in a great situation. Did you ever feel that no matter what that person could actually say or do, it was never going to really hit home and be able to actually, let's say, make you happy or bring that sense of joy to you again? Well, this is really what I'm talking about, right? Because no matter what's coming from the outside, none of that is actually going to clinch what can only be produced from the inside. And this is something that has become a widespread notion. And it is so powerful. In fact, here in America, we just actually went through an election period, and the presidential elections were just a few days ago. And there's such a strong emotional connection to all of these things. And it's amazing to see how much all of us as human beings, not just with politics, but pretty much in relationships and everything you do, we get so attached to the way that things have to be. And when that is actually not being met for whatever reason, we kind of go out the other door and we feel completely let down and our emotions are completely stirred up. We simply have no access to being in a different space. We're being completely upset and at the mercy of those events that are happening. And this is also something that is intricately linked with this sense of appreciation, because ultimately, this global pandemic that I'm talking about, it stems from within. So as you feel into that and actually think about that, or perhaps even bring awareness through this conversation to your personal relationship with a loved one or your family, or think about any relationship you may have in your life where the relationship may be completely strange and strained, this is one of those things to actually start looking into, okay, what am I bringing to myself when it comes to this particular relationship or a group of people? Am I, in fact, fully tuning in into what is my degree of contribution to that? And I'm going to share with you what I find has been or is the most powerful way to start reversing this global pandemic that I'm talking about of unappreciation, and is the aspect of gratitude. And there are two very powerful words that I have found to be absolutely incredible to do this. And you may think, well, this is so simple, but it actually is so powerful. And it's this. These two words, in the English language at least, whether it's thank you in English or gracias in Spanish or grazie in Italian, whatever the case may be in your particular language, is incredibly powerful to start reversing this pandemic, this virus of unappreciation that we have. And I want to share a story of something that I used to do for many years, and within the last year, because of this awareness that I'm sharing with you, I decided I have to actually change this and do something different about it. I had this habit of keeping a list of a lot of different people that I would meet in my life, and after any particular encounters or things that had happened, I would sit down and write a thank you card. And I would take the time to actually handwrite that and then send those cards to people. And that was a great way for me to really express how I felt about that particular relationship. In some cases, if it was a new relationship, it was a great way to start turning the engine on in that particular relationship and be able to create connections that otherwise I would have not been able to have. And then, life goes on, and I've been involved in a bunch of different things. And the truth of the matter is, I let this habit and this custom that I had of taking the time to write the thank you notes basically fall by the wayside. And as I deepen into what I'm talking about today, this global epidemic of unawareness and unappreciation, really, I said to myself, I have to go back to this whole thing of creating my cards. I have to go back to being in this place of gratitude and just letting other people know that they're important to me and whatever is it that they have done that is really essential to me. And I started to actually do that. And by now I've written a couple hundreds of thank you notes this year alone, reaching out to people that have been very significant to me, and they've done, even if somebody may consider a small thing, like not important, it doesn't matter. If for me, my experience of that moment was absolutely profound, and I just really felt I had this gravitational pull to go ahead and write the note, I would actually write that down. Something really incredible started to happen, which was I started to receive notifications, whether it was via emails or text messages or WhatsApp and whatnot, of some of those people important in my life reaching back to me and letting me know, hey, this completely changed my life. Thank you so much. Hey, who takes the time to actually write a thank you note handwritten nowadays? Hey, I have never received anything like this in my life before. I'm not exaggerating. This is exactly how it happened. And it completely confirmed at a much deeper level for me this whole notion and this awareness that I've been having for quite some time, that unappreciation is really something that has been eroding a lot of us. And as it pertains to relationships, this is so important. And I'm going to go into this in a couple of minutes here, because this is something that is a game changer. It certainly has changed my relationship with my wife, and it continues to every day. You see, it is typically the case that we gravitate towards being grateful for things that might have been really, really big for us, right? Something that I got something out of it, and then I went ahead and I say thank you. But if you don't really feel that way, and it's something that you're perceiving as a negative experience, the likelihood of you going to that person and saying, hey, thank you so much. I felt so bad after we had this interaction, and I just want to thank you for that, right? That is not an intuitive thing. Most people would say, like, you're crazy. Why would you ever even thank somebody for something that you've experienced as something negative, right? Well, I want to turn this completely around and share this perspective. You see, I really believe, especially after all the work that we do here in a Life Partner, and what I have seen after coaching so many people through the years, that it is those moments when we feel challenged emotionally, when we feel challenged because something hasn't gone our way, when we feel challenged because perhaps we've been intending for the longest time and hoping and wishing that I'm going to get this, or this is going to be the outcome that I want, that when that doesn't happen, basically our life is just not working for us, right? Well, I'd like to propose to you, what if you were to just give this a different kind of try? And the try that you were to give it is, what if this is life actually working for you? What if this is life being on your side? What if that is actually the biggest gift for you to be able to meet yourself in that moment, to feel the things that are coming up inside of you, that perhaps have been dormant here for a long time inside of you, and are actually preventing the very experience of you getting, achieving, experiencing, feeling that thing that you want so much. And this is exactly what I started to do. So Concretely speaking, let's say that I just had an argument with my wife or something happened that I experienced something as painful for me. Well, the opposite of trying to get into a fight or trying to justify or trying to defend something is to go in and really, after doing some honest, authentic acknowledgement of what's coming up for you, to say to the other person, you know what? I want to thank you. I want to thank you because you have brought something in me through this experience, this interaction that we've had that I didn't even know that it was there. And I see this as a tremendous opportunity for me to grow, for me to go in a different direction, and for us to create a degree of communication, a degree of connection, a degree of intimacy that wasn't available to me, or I was not aware that I could actually co-create with you because of this sense of appreciation. And I would also like to share with you that part of this journey of having this awareness and having so much proof on a daily basis of how unappreciated people feel came across after a discovery that I had through one of my mentors over 4 years ago with this book. And this book is called The Magic, and it's a book that was authored by Rhonda Byrne, the famous author that published the book The Secret, if you're acquainted with that work. And this is not about the secret itself, but it's a work on the subject of gratitude. And one of the beautiful things that I really love about this work is that there's a daily practice for it. And as I was developing my particular practice and different routines and so on that I do, and then eventually bringing new things into the Alive Partner community, I started to take this concept of 28 days, which I think is super powerful, and then to morph a lot of that experience into something that is very particular to what we do in the Alive Partner experience. And up to this point, I'm on cycle 39, so that means that for 39 consecutive months, so over 3 years, I have been practicing this form of gratitude practice the way that I want to practice it, the way that I find it to be effective, quick, that brings results into my life. And the results have been so amazing, not only from the aspect of my relationship to my wife, the relationship to my children, professionally speaking, what it has done for my finances, what it have done for me to be able to rekindle with a relationship perhaps might have been strained or distant. All of the things have been heavily impacted by this work. And I said to myself, okay, this is so powerful. I would like to see how this goes beyond not just what works for me. I want to be able to see this in action for people in my community. And I started to bring that work to people in the Wanted Men Mentorship Program, touch on it on the Alive Partner course, and also in the Heart to Heart Mentorship Program. And then I said, okay, once I started to get the testimonials of how powerful this is, how this would change the lives of the people in my community, the people in my Alive Partner professional team, in my company, I said, okay, this is much bigger than I anticipated. We have to make this available to everybody. So one of the things that I'm really excited to be sharing with you, if this has been resonating with you right now, is the fact that for the first time ever, we are opening the doors for people to have a similar powerful experience with this work in what's called the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad. The 28-day Gratitude Launchpad. You see, I'm super excited about this because this would be like having somebody, in this case me, coaching you on a daily basis, communicating with you in a private group with community members who are just as vested as I am and the people who have already gone through this experience in being able to get massive results and basically healing from this unappreciation epidemic that is so widespread and most people don't even know that they have it, right? Imagine what it is to actually wake up on a daily basis, to have amazing energy, to no matter what's in front of you, you're in complete gratitude for it. You're being cued moment by moment of amazing things that are happening in your life that you're like, wow, I did not even have the awareness that this is in my life. And going from a face that is kind of like drawn down and no smiles on your face to basically walking around with a smile on your face all the time. That is just not me saying, this is exactly what has happened to people in my community and how their lives have been changed because of implementing this mini tools, if you will, that we do for 28 days at a time and have been able to transform them to this massively appreciative lives that are spreading this joy and this way of being on a daily basis. And that is a very powerful antidote to this whole epidemic of unappreciation. And all it takes is to be able to have the right tools, the right format for it, for you to be saying thank you. And once again, this is something that is counterintuitive, particularly when you're thinking about, okay, you're telling me that when I'm having difficult and challenging moments, I am going to be approaching that situation, that person with a thank you when I perhaps have been offended or this or that. It's like the answer is yes, because the experience is your experience, and it's your experience of the other and whatever is around you. See, really getting that locked in and knowing that nothing from the outside is generating your experience, but it's how it's actually being incorporated, how it's being internalized, what generates your experience of whatever that is. That changes everything. It would be as though you had this pair of sunglasses and the lenses are very, very dark because all you're thinking is that the light is going to be so bright all the time. And now you basically put lighter lenses on it, and now you see a completely different world. The colors look different. The experiences are different. Perhaps your eyes are now feeling as strained as though it's nighttime all the time. This is exactly what happened when you go into this mode of being in gratitude, pretty much from a moment-to-moment basis. Some people have said to me, like, is that even possible to practice that? And my best answer to that is, yes, it is. And we have plenty of people and plenty of experiences in the Alive Partner community. That is exactly what we're tapping into. You see, it changes everything that is being felt inside of you. Now I'm just going to speak from the doctor side of things because I can't avoid it. But there is a completely different chemistry that gets generated inside of you when you're living from this place. And there's plenty of evidence on that, whether it's like functional MRI imaging to see what's happening in the brain, to the kind of hormones that are being secreted in the body, which are measurable things. These things are concretely measurable, real things that we know that there's plenty of evidence that changes your experience. And you probably have heard about being on a fight or flight response, which is a sympathetic response, versus being in a parasympathetic response, where you're in a relaxation state, in a receiving state. Well, another way to tap into that endocrine system that is releasing all of those hormones, which are basically the joy or happiness hormones or the happy hormones, is to be in a state of gratitude, in a state of being in a thank you state. So I hope that this has been resonating with you, and I have a special offer for you, for you to actually gain access to it without having to pay for anything, which it's really powerful, and it's an audio tool that you can start tapping into to get, your wheels turning around this. And it's through the aspect of feeling. So go to alivepartner.com/feel, FEEL, and that is a special audio tool that you can download absolutely for free, so you can start tapping into what are the sensations and the feeling body, the sensation body, so that you can start bringing the aspect of gratitude into your daily life and activate that. Now, if you want to go deeper into this, I am going to invite you to join us to be part of the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad. In a matter of a few days, November 21st of this year, we will be going full on, and we're going to be launching into the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad cycle. So if you want to join this and be part of a community of people that are already in there, that are going to be celebrating their breakthroughs or milestones by using the power of gratitude, come and join us. And all you have to do is just go to alivepartner.com/gratitude, alivepartner.com/gratitude, so you can actually have access to being able to join us. On that day, we'll be together for the next 28 days. It's very simple. Your relationships are going to be affected for the best by it. Your finances are going to be affected by it, because if you're in a state of flow, everything around you is going to change for the better. If you have a strange relationship in your life, if your health is not in a great place, this is an incredibly powerful tool to be able to enter a whole different chemical state that is a healthy state. That is my promise to you for the next 28 days. So next Thursday, November 21st, early in the morning, we are going off the Launchpad on the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad program, and it's going to be amazing. We'll have a Zoom call on the front end to say welcome to everybody, to set the tone for how this is going to be for everybody who is going to be part of the community doing it. And then on the back end, on the very last day, we're going to have another live Zoom call to celebrate all the breakthroughs, all the things that have been happening to everybody during the course of the 28 days. Additionally, we have a private group, and we're going to be communicating inside of Voxer every single day. That's how I communicate with the community, where we can be sharing everything that is happening for everybody. Is super powerful because we're raising the vibration of the group. We are creating a safe and private container for everybody to be part of the experience and to be sharing the different things that are happening there. And also, there's something that I love, which I came up with, which is called the Quick Vite. And that stands for quick invite. So every day I share 1 or 2 things that I want you to do to incorporate this practice into your day. I can guarantee you, you can't miss not having breakthroughs during 28 days when we do it from that place. So I am Dr. Mario. I sincerely wish that this has brought a very deep insight into a new way of considering what's going on out in the world, this new pandemic of unappreciation, and how you can actually address it to be able to get out of it and not continue to be in this cycle of unappreciation that is so damaging for everybody. And if you want more of that, like I said, join us in a few days in the 28-day Gratitude Launchpad so that we can fully get rid of this aspect of unappreciation and set your life in a whole new trajectory where gratitude is basically at the core of your life and the experiences that you have. Thank you for being here with me. I'm live every Wednesday at 1:30 Mountain Time. And if you miss us here on YouTube, you can catch me every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time as well on Instagram live at Alive Partner TV. I wish you have an amazing day, and I can't wait to read your comments and hear from you in the near future. Have an awesome one. See ya.